add him right quick. Boom. So he was the parallel that I was about to bring up. Dre, I've seen your thoughts on the team, like when they're in their slumps, and I know AJ's passion. He's frustrated. I mean, rightfully so. Everybody's frustrated, but he still sticks around. In the sense of like having the emotion part. And so I'm gonna give the floor to you all. Obviously, we're 2-6 in the bye week. I'm gonna give the floor to our guy P first, to get things off his chest. But 8 games in, I'm gonna give the floor to you. Overall thoughts on the macro level about how this team is. Obviously, it's not where we want to be, but we are where we are. So P, floor is yours on this team and how they got to where they are.
Let me start by saying this. To a degree, they are what I thought they would be. 2-6 is kind of on the low end of what I thought they might be doing this season, but they were 3-13 18 months ago. Like, they're still in year 2 of a rebuild. I always try to keep that mindset when I watch these games and I see them being disappointed. Last time we talked on the offense, they were looking to revamp, but still the quarterback week 1. So everything I think about this team right now is kind of like, well, they were dealt a bad hand. But all that being said, some of the mainstays on the team, like Montez and Chase, we talked about that all the time on the timeline this past 8 weeks, talking about the linebacker group, the secondary, the highly paid secondary, Antonio Gibson. I mean, Terry's doing this thing, but you lose Logan Thomas. Like, some of the pieces that you wanted to see step up the season have either been hurt or haven't performed. And that's been disappointing. And, Ron Rivera said some things this week that kind of I know we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but he was like, we're 7-9 last year. That didn't really set the table for expectations. But, we're going to have high expectations. I mean, you guys loaded up the roster. You won the division. You had players, like actual dogs on this team, and they aren't doing their thing. So it's been a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, it has been. And before I add anything, because I'm gonna hand it to Dre first, but that 7-9 comment is something that I definitely wanted to talk about. Dre, obviously, like I said, the parallel that I had mentioned, it's easy, like, because when you go through this over and over and over again, man, it's easy to just be like, you know what, goodbye. What we got on next? You know what I'm saying? It's, they got a good 4 p.m. game on. I can't wait to watch that. I ain't really tripping. Matter of fact, Red Zone on 1 o'clock. All right, what's up? What do Wizards play? Things like that. I'm in that space, but I'm gonna hand the floor to you to express this situation that we're in with this team, man. Your thoughts on the macro level of how we got to where we are.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think we got our answer at quarterback for what we look at. The only kind of clung on to at the beginning of the season outside of the defense was we don't know what we have at quarterback. First, it was Ryan Fitzpatrick. It was, maybe he can lead something. Maybe all he needs to do is be a game manager if the defense does. He goes out the first game of the season, and then you're looking at Taylor Heineke, who the only time you saw him was in last year when he actually looked good in a playoff game and in relief in the Carolina Panthers game. So you say, okay, we'll have a few weeks and maybe he can keep them afloat. And we got a clear definitive answer on Taylor Heineke that he's not the guy at all. He's at a backup level at best. He's not a guy you want to start multiple games, and if he is the guy to start multiple games, this is where you're going to be. But it's not just Taylor Heineke, it's the disappointing defense. I think Jack Del Rio's unit has been this is the worst unit Del Rio has had in his career. No one saw this coming with the talent that we had on this defense. So that's alarming, going into the offseason. But as far as my personal feelings right now, I can check out pretty easily, as like I said on Twitter. Like, emotionally, I'll still watch the games every week, like a chore. But emotionally, I check out, and I'm in draft season right now because, as I've been telling people, as I talk about the team right now, nothing really matters until we get the quarterback position fixed. So that's pretty much just what I'm watching right now, just to keep me afloat for football season. I'm just watching these quarterbacks, seeing which one I want to see us get in the offseason.
Absolutely. AJ, I know you're here, bro. We've talked over the past couple of weeks. I know where your head's at, but let the boys, Dre and P, let them know where your head at, man, because you're not alone. I put it that way over these past couple of days, and maybe since the last loss against the Broncos, you're not alone. It's becoming louder and louder. So I'll give you that. Let the people know where you at with this team and where they got to where they are.
I mean, I definitely just think it's just too much on Ron Rivera's plate. I find it peculiar that someone gets fired from one team, hired to a new team a month later, and given all these responsibilities that they never had. It's kind of like the writing was on the wall from the jump. I just think that a lot of the fan base ignored it because Ron has been to a Super Bowl before, but we have to pay attention. He had one of the greatest college players of all time, and they came into the NFL and doing his thing, Cam Newton, leading those teams whenever he did have a winning record. So it's hard for any coach to win games without a quarterback, but then it just seems like the team isn't really responding to him anymore. And I can I'll speak on it from an anonymous standpoint from the player side, because I mean I was with a couple guys that play on the team right now just last week, and yeah, just they ain't really fucking with Ron like that. Like, it's definitely some tension going on in the locker room with the coaching staff and different things. Even, their schedule for the bye week wasn't really what it was supposed to be. It kept changing. Like,
I was going to ask you about
yeah.
that. Did they talk about the bye week? Because it was supposed to be a practice on Wednesday. And literally like a day before, I believe he said that it was going to be practice. And then like the day before the practice, he said it was canceled.
Yeah, it definitely changed. Like they were supposed to have like an 8:30. They did have an 8:30 meeting, but that just kind of like popped up on the schedule. The practice did get canceled. Guys are trying to utilize their bye to go see their families, maybe go to their college that they played at, different things of that nature. So it's just kind of weird the way that even went. But it's like you could definitely see that these guys aren't really adhering to what he has to say because it doesn't sound promising, and that's due to the fact of not really addressing the quarterback situation. And even if you look around, guys aren't stupid. Like, you're bringing everybody in from the Carolina Panthers, but you're refusing to bring in Cam Newton. That's very telling, and that's the person who has led to you even getting this opportunity with Washington. And is directly correlated with the success that you have had as an NFL head coach. I mean, for me, when it comes to these games, it's like I just watch it just to watch it. At this point, ain't really nothing much to look forward to. I can't even say I'm looking forward to the draft like Dre is. I'm seeing him tweet every Saturday his
Kenny
QB
Pickett
rankings. Yeah,
I love me some Kenny Pickett. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I almost want to ask Dre, is that your son? But at the end of the day, man, I just feel like if you are watching a football team fan, I don't really think you have much to look forward to unless they get rid of this coaching staff and also the GMs or player personnel people involved, because there's no way, in my opinion, like I told y'all for weeks, there's no way, in my opinion, that you can go into next year with a new team name and allow this coaching staff to be in charge of addressing this quarterback situation. Because even if you look at it from a standpoint of trying to acquire a free agent quarterback of elite status, whether that be the Aaron Rodgers, the Russell Wilsons, the Deshaun Watson, what are you selling to those guys? You have a bottom tier offense, you have a bottom tier defense, you have a offensive coordinator who will be going into his third year, and you really don't have any identity on your offense. What could you really sell to a veteran elite quarterback? So now you're forced to draft a quarterback, and whenever you're forced to draft a quarterback, huh?
I ain't mean to disrupt your point. I was just saying out loud that veteran elite would be the identity. Like, we want to throw the rock 40 times that motherfucker.
It would be the identity, but it's like, put yourself in one of those guys' shoes. Like, would you feel inclined to come to Washington? Like, what have they shown you during Ron's tenure that would even make you want to feel comfortable to come into that situation and leave where you are? Like, with Deshaun, things haven't been the best in Houston, but if you're Russell leaving Seattle, do you leave that environment to come here? Like, do you leave Green Bay to come here if you're Aaron Rodgers? It's just like, it's going to be a hard sell for them to get a veteran quarterback of elite status. So then when you look into the draft, you pretty much just got toss-ups. Like, you really don't know who's going to be a substantial effort to go and pursue. And if you take a quarterback first-round pick, and that doesn't pan out, you send the franchise back again. So it's just a peculiar situation, and I feel like the only way to change that energy and perception of the team right now, in my opinion, what fans should be looking forward to is either starting a petition or something to get rid of Ron Rivera.
Start a petition.
That ain't gonna happen.
It ain't. What's going on, y'all? This is Jamal, and this is just your reminder that you can catch each and every live stream episode of the Trap or Die podcast Tuesday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern live on my Twitch channel. The link is in the description. And if you miss any episodes, you can catch the video on demand on my Twitch channel that takes you to each and every episode that you may have missed. With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe to my YouTube channel where we post clips of the show, clips of interviews, interesting conversations, game analysis, film breakdowns, but also where we live stream our instant game analysis from each and every Washington football game immediately after the game is over. With that being said, I'm out of here. Y'all be safe, and I'll catch you next time.
Hold hard in the trenches. Ask a nigga what he benching. Triple digits, nigga. Don't forget to mention. Hold hard in the trenches. Ask a nigga.